That's more like it.
I thought I'd come just a little bit early, just to make sure.
Yeah, you have, yeah. Yeah. Well, I know Murray's on his way because he rang me.
Well, whoever else turns up just shows how hard they are.
Well, Kieth sent me a very long message about an hour ago saying the kids give me a laptop, it's still in the packaging. If I try to use it, I might smash it in a fit of pique. Hitler had similar issues with gadgets, although he loved cars and motor transport. He planned to take his test after the war, but couldn't decide whether to drive on the left or right, as he wanted to model the Third Reich on the British Empire. He struggled with this issue until his Mercedes was crushed by a Russian Kieth 2, which had been adapted for street clearing and demolition. That was the last message I got from Kieth.
It's looking like a no to me.
That's exactly what I actually said. I take it that's a no then.
Well, let's just see what happens.
We'll see. He might struggle with the technology. He's such a Luddite.
Some of the guys that are in the early 70s, you know, disqualified themselves for the very same reason. You know, I'm a Luddite.
So am I. You have to embrace the technology sometimes.
I think it'll be either the Fantastic Four or possibly the Magnificent Seven. We'll just have to see. But whatever, the show must go on.
Well, basically, I've started recording it.
Yeah.
So I'll send you a copy of the recording when it's done.
Yeah, we might stick it on YouTube. We'll see.
Yeah, you never know. Like I said, Murray says he's going to come on. So that was 10 minutes ago.
Yeah. But, I'm hoping Fatty Round and Philip Whale. I don't know if you might know, though. I'll introduce you all.
Fatty Round, probably. Tissy, I know Tissy. I don't know. He's on, isn't he? Is Tissy
Philip Whale, he was the leader of the White Lees, massive, and I'm hoping he's because him and Fatty Round were in the audience, and I'd like the audience to remember.
That would be good.
So we'll see it anyway. Ooh, it's a bit like, it must be like this for mediums, waiting for the other side to come through.
And just wait. Or you could be a spirit waiting for the medium to contact us.
Either way.
You know what I mean?
It's all black magic anyway.
It's all weird shit. Who knows?
Hey, I've seen a better reception tonight. I've come into a better floodlit room with.
Actually, your image is much more endearing, and I think it's set off by the purple shirt as well.
Well, yes.
Oh, here. Oh, Hootsy Tabernacle, which is Murray.
All right then.
So Hootsy Tabernacle's coming on. Here he is. Come on, Murray. There he is.
Alexa, repeat the song.
I'll repeat the song.
Is this how you remember me?
You look like Spike Milligan. I've told you.
I always said I was an illegitimate love child of Spike's.
You look like it. Aye, with that hair. Yeah, with that wig. Oh, yeah,
it's not a wig, you know. I don't know what it is, actually.
Paul's entering. Paul's entering.
Paul. Tinwhistle's on the way.
Aye. Hey, this is 4 so far. You're pretty close to getting it right. Could be 7. Could be 4.
Worst or best.
Is the sun that bright in Brighton, is it, Murray? Can't hear you, mate.
Oh, he's not clicked his audio on.
It's dark now.
Oh, it's dark now. It is dark, isn't it? It's thick fog in Birmingham.
It's been sunny.
Here.
All right, here we go.
Somebody asked me the forecast. I got the foggiest, really, but
Well, fog would be on the cards, like.
Alexa, repeat the song.
I'll repeat the song.
Say it again. It's 1977, look.
1977. You've got Alexa. I haven't got Alexa.
Oh, yes, I've got a rule.
Have you asked for fart sounds? Christmas fart. You can ask for Christmas fart sounds.
Oh,
Alexa. Yeah, it's amazing. Technology.
Right, so we're about 1:07 or something. Wait a minute.
Ah, yeah, 4 people.
Something like that. Fatty Round hasn't said he isn't coming.
Well,
Will says hasn't said he isn't coming, but he said he'd be drunk. So I said, "Don't fall asleep." So, and that's as much as I know.
Well,
we lost Gary.
We know Kieth's not coming.
But you know, you work with who's here. Let's give it a few minutes. Can we hear Mr. Tinwhistle? He's got
work the room.
Not wearing this on, right? I'll tell you now.
No, it's going to be warm.
Yeah, I'm on.
You're on, Joe. Good. What about
Can you hear me?
Anybody? Anything you know? Any on the grapevine who might dare be hard enough to turn up?
I'm heard now.
Well,
A bit like Edgar Winter there now. I'm going
a little bit Edgar Winter could be.
Bit Iggy Pop. I'm going through all
Or
these.
Johnny Winter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seasonal, isn't it?
It's starting to get more shape now.
I know it's not a wig, you know. I don't know what it is.
No, I know that. I mean, amazingly, like those male hormones coursing through your body, creating a hairdo. I wish I had some.
Oh.
I mean, Murray looks no different to me, except obviously he's younger. Like we've all turned into each other more or less. As 3 of us with beards and.
We're morphing, aren't we?
It's a bit weird. Starting to turn into Lobsang Ramper.
Oh, he was a lad, wasn't he? Also,
good old Lobsang. Yeah.
There's a lot of people still believe in him, you know.
What do you mean? Still believe in him?
Yeah, still, you know.
Aye.
Still nips round and does a bit of plumbing for them.
Yeah. With these touchstones.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Oh, yeah. Right, we'll give it a few more minutes, and then we can push on. People, if they're hard enough to turn up, you know, we lost Gary Craig at the last minute, which was unfortunate because he's like a historian and archivist.
Oh, bloody hell.
He got his dates mixed up and found it double booked or something like that.
Double booked?
Yeah. Sweeney, the hairdresser, my old bat, you know, who was the cause of the Borestiffers. He's a Luddite and he took fright, same as Tom Johnson and stuff like that. Paul Bradshaw, I have no idea. I understand he's been to St. James's today to see Newcastle get thrashed, so I don't know if he's.
Oh, right, okay.
He was in the Borestiffers. You've got 2 of us up now, obviously. Me and Tinwhistle, yeah. Teddy's in Plymouth. Under
I'll start in the link.
And that was it. That was it. That was the Borestiffers. Oh, Fig Roll, of course. Well,
we're not going to
get where that fellow is.
Not going to have Fig.
Yeah.
He's at Marsden somewhere.
Is he?
Right.
That's it now.
You drinking beer, Murray?
Seems to be.
I'll tell you something, right? These 2 here were hard enough to come and visit me, right? And Murray came some years back and he was in like a guest house or something. And I went round to the guest house with him. And before we went in, I said, don't say anything about me. I try to keep a low profile in this city, you know, don't mention anything about me. So I went in with him, and the woman came up and says, oh, wow, who's this? And he says, oh, it's me mate. He was a pop star. I thought, oh, was he?
So there's your cover blown.
He had to redeem himself by drinking 4 tins of 10 in super strength we had each. You know, respect.
I'm hard, that's why.
I know.
I don't know.
Yeah, you were drinking them as well. But you do that same thing with your hair that you used to do back in the 70s when you had hair.
That's why I've kind of just done a little bit, you know.
When you were Rod, you know, like.
Well, there's still the Rod squad out there, Fatty Round and a few others, and people I speak to say, "Oh no, I'm calling you Rod." And I thought, well, yeah, I borrowed the name for about 20 years, which is like fair.
Yeah,
enough.
which so.
If they want to call me, that's fair enough. I'll wear any name. I've got about 6 actually.
Yeah.
Even I don't know my real name. Not important.
It's not important.
No.
Does that box ever move, Murray?
It's going to be thrown out at some point.
It's just an impromptu table, isn't it?
It is in a way. Yeah.
A cardboard.
Yeah, I've got to get rid of it. It's what the office chair was boxed in.
Is that what your office chair came in?
Yeah, it's quite sort of
substantial.
Yeah, thick cardboards. I haven't been able to cut it up or anything.
Yeah, you could. Well,
you know what I mean? You know, and chuck it outside with the bins. But it's acting as a table actually.
Yeah, exactly. It's perfect.
Yeah, that's all me college work for when I studied to be a teacher of English to foreign students.
A Geordie teaching English to foreign students. Imagine that. What? Imagine that's just like a disaster waiting to happen. Where I'm a Geordie teaching English like a foreign student. Yeah, good luck with that, like.
Yeah, well, I can tell them all the sort of colloquial.
Colloquialisms,
yeah, especially if they don't want to work in the northeast. So I could specialise in that, I suppose.
Aye.
Learn yourself, Geordie.
Yeah, I remember that book.
Yeah, it was Mike North, was it? What his name was? Or?
Was it? I thought it was somebody Dobson or something.
Mike Neville. It was Mike Neville off Lucknow.
Mike Neville, that's it. Yeah,
he was involved in it, but the guy who wrote it, I think, was called John Dobson or something.
Right.
Yeah.
He had a passport. The other Geordie passport as well.
The other guy with him was George House, who also worked for the local BBC. The two of them went on stage. Yeah, right. There was some that wrote the books.
Right.
Aye.
Oh, there's some of it on YouTube, isn't there?
Yeah.
There's some of everything.
Yeah, it's everything on the YouTube.
I used to watch it every night. Look North. Mike Neville, that's it.
You had such a sheltered life.
Well, there weren't many TV channels in those days.
No, that's all there was, wasn't it?
Well, I mean, it was something like the Magic Roundabout, then Look North, I think. Something like that.
What a combination.
Or the news, and then Look North.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. I think it's clear we're hard enough to have turned up. So we'll continue this amnesia class, because I suspect that's what it might be. I remember as much as is behind me on the wall here.
Yeah.
Really? God.
You've got a good memory, Murray, haven't you?
Absolutely.
Well, psychologists assure me, and I think you probably know, that the memory's not to be trusted. It seriously lets you down when you get to a certain age. So it'll be interesting to see what notes we compare or disagree on. Yeah. First thing I must point out is, and this is really quite, I like this, that all those years ago, the night of the this is coming off a minute, the night of the Borestiffers, I think, was 44 years ago. 44? House 44? And the guy who was on the door, i.e. the bouncer that evening, was this fella here, Roberto. Yeah. He was letting people in Bolingbroke House. He was responsible for letting people in. And what is he doing tonight? He's letting people
in. I know.
So how about that?
It's almost like, I mean, the memories are just flooding back. Like it's
Time
quite.
is an illusion.
Time is an illusion.
Just get this on me.
Are you going to put another one on?
Yeah,
I've got one of my own as well somewhere.
this is Paul McCartney's actual,
I have
Gal,
got
he
one.
sent me a first class post the other day, but it's a Wavis thing that kind of, yeah, so,
I too have a hat, Murray.
that,
Well, I know I've seen that. Yeah, it's disappeared.
Oh, it's gone. That's the virtual thing. Oh, that's
Yeah.
brilliant.
Yeah.
Look, it's an invisible hat. Look at that.
it is. It is an invisible hat.
Oh man, look. It's an invisible hat. What the fuck? That's look. Oppo, hang on, there's somebody coming on.
Oh no!
Oh, you're gonna have to start again. You're gonna have to start again.
No.
Oppo Find XL Lite 5G. What is that?
Hey up. Alexa, repeat the song.
Oh no.
I'll repeat the song.
Hey up. Is this how you remember me? Can you hear us? Can you see us? Oh my goodness me. Can you hear us, young man? We can't hear you now. You got your audio.
He's on mute.
You're
He's on mute.
Can
I've
you...
asked to mute.
Unmute.
There, you're off mute now. Yeah.
Now ask him if he's pissed.
Yeah, I'm pissed.
Right, thank goodness I can take this off now. I've had it on the last 10 minutes. I'm roasting.
Longer than that, that's 15.
Get my real scalp out.
Get your real head on.
Ah.
That's it. There we are.
That's better.
Can't really see through it. Okay, so hey, isn't he a good spot for joining us? All of us are dead hard for turning up tonight, and I was explaining Philip, this guy here who's hosting it, Roberto, he was the guy on the door at Bolingbroke that night.
Oh, nice one. Nice one.
And I'm
he
still
let
on the door.
And for some reason, and I don't know if he can remember this, but he had his pockets were full of parts of a lathe.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, probably.
I was just going to say, you look much bigger.
I padded
You know
him.
what
I said, "What's this? Is bits of bloody lathe in there?" Huh?
that which would have been taken from the Middle Dock Ship Repair Yard, probably.
I
But
know.
Where
what
was
makes it
supposed-
interesting
Where I
is
was supposed to work.
that night, he was letting people in. That's what he was doing. He was letting people in as the bouncer. And here he is tonight, 44 years later, letting people in again. That's time travel. Love it.
Nice one.
Alexa,
Nice one.
repeat the
History
song.
repeating itself.
I'll repeat the song.
44 years. And we're all still standing in a fashion. But seriously. Shut up a minute.
Shut up in a minute. Right.
So
It's actually nearer 46.
Filipino.
6 years.
Could I just ask a question?
Yes,
If my memory serves me right, was it the slices of bread? Was he wearing like a device now? What do you call it? Oh God, Phil, you're a little bit drunk. What I'm forgetting the word. Bloody hell! Those women in the pictures used to have one around their neck, and you had to put the bread in there. Was that right or not? No, you got the ice creams out of.
Well, oh yeah, possibly. Well, we're going to investigate all this, right? First question, or first answer, rather. Who can remember? You might not have known. Does anybody remember how much it cost to rent Bolingbroke Hall the night of that gig? I know. Anybody else?
10 bob.
Uh,
Listen.
13 and
well,
6.
Was it about? I'm guessing like.
I'll tell you, it was actually £8, right? And you had to fill all these official forms in to say what you were going to do and what was happening. I don't know what I put. Yeah. I know when we did the second gig of our world tour, which was at that church on Derby Street, Bath, and all the people that used to go were blind fellas, you know, they actually were blind fellas. And the fella said, well, who ran it all says, you can have the hall and do it free as long as our guys can come. And I agreed, you know.
I remember that.
Is that and here, when they're sitting there and the poor fellas can't see, but they hear us at it, you know. Anyway, we turned up and they never. So that.
Yeah, the guy who ran it was MacArthur. His name was MacArthur.
Yeah.
Fred MacArthur.
Fred MacArthur.
That's right. Yeah.
I know that name. Fred MacArthur. Was he at the John Wright Centre at some point?
Probably.
Aye, because they were all blind there as well.
I think he had a park and loaned it out to the small faces. Is that right? No, I'm going too far back.
I know the name from the John Wright Centre when because we did that stupid play, didn't we, Murray? Remember that?
Oh well, yeah. What the Hiawatha thing?
The Hiawatha thing for the blind people. Because we had a bloke nearly fell off the stage who was blind because we had to use blind actors and disabled actors, and one of them was blind. And he nearly fell off the stage, if I remember, in rehearsals, because he was blind. Like, that would have been genius. Break his fucking legs.
So anyway, we booked the hall at Bolingbroke. I can't remember the exact date or what night. Was it a Thursday night? I don't know. I think it was 1977.
It was a Thursday in February 1976.
Oh my goodness me!
I must 76.
So that's what, 45 years then that we're discussing.
Coming up 46 years. It was
46. Bloody no.
Yeah.
Anyway, we two of us tonight. There's Tinwhistle here, which you all know. There's myself, which you'll never know. But anyway, we were in the Borestiffers. We tried desperately to get the other members. Arthur, otherwise known as Teddy Anteater, is in Plymouth, and there's no way on God's earth that we could get Arthur to turn up. Fig roll, don't know where Fig is, somewhere. And we almost got the other fella, Paul Bradshaw, I called him Tube, because I used to dish names out to people and it just stuck. And we called him Tube because somehow there was a roommate who didn't have a willy and he had a tube. So we called him Tube, which is really ironic that I ended up on the tube, on your TV screens. But he's been at St. James's this afternoon, and I think he might be a bit drunk or something, but never mind. So you got me and Tinwhistle for our sins. And this guy remembers more than I do. I remember nothing. That's why I've called this, really, to see who remembers what. Bearing in mind that, altogether now, psychologists tell us that the mind's not to be relied upon, right? So yeah, we did some rehearsals. I don't know how many we did. I'll turn this over to Paul. I don't know if Murray was at any of the rehearsals or not. I
think so.
We might have done two.
I think we did a few at your house, Madeira Terrace.
Really? Was everything there then? I haven't looked at me hovel at Scotland Street.
Several rehearsals there.
Really?
Yeah. Because Fig made it to every rehearsal. Fig roll was at every rehearsal, and then I was pleasantly surprised to see he actually turned up for the gig. But
well, I remember I'm skipping
it as he went on.
I'm skipping ahead here, but I think some curtains must have opened, and just before the curtains opened, he said in his Fig roll voice, "It's near use, Rod. I can't dig it." And I thought, I pushed him through the curtains, You can't tell me this now. Right, we've got half the gangs and sow shits out there, you know, scaring each other out. You're coming out here as well. Yeah, it's no use, Rod. I can't do it. I shall not forget that ever. He was a bit about it. So we did rehearsals, and who was it this rehearsal, right? We were in Bolingbroke, and also there was a gym there, and all the hard lads used to come and go to the gym.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we were not surprisingly making a lot of noise. And then two of possibly the second and third hardest in the town almost got wedged in the door coming through at the same time to see what the noise was. Right? Perhaps thought it was a ruck or a murder or something going on. And they came in, and it was absolutely like the scene in the cowboy movies where the piano player stops playing when a certain cowboy comes in, right? It just went absolutely silent when we recognised who these two fellas were. Nearly said gorillas.
I know who they were.
Yeah.
And so they walked over, and yeah, they came to me, of course, and I said, "Going on here, like? Going on here?" Oh,
I was there.
yeah. Well, you remember the silence, won't you? Because
Yeah.
and what's going on here, like? Going on here? Oh, we're rehearsing. What for, like? What you doing, like? Where are you, like? I said, oh, we're a band, you know, and we're rehearsing for a show we're going to do. So straight away, you could see the pound signs in their eyes, thinking, right, let's get this right. You're a band. Now, if we manage you, we could take all your money, you know. So the second hardest, not the third hardest, looked me in the eyes. Yeah, you know, I was too stupid to be frightened. And I said, how much do you charge to get in, like? And I looked him in the eyes and said, well, stick of celery, hard-boiled egg, or a piece of paper or Papa wrote on it. And he just looked at me like that. And then turned around, and his mates just nearly got wedged walking out again. And that was that really.
Yeah.
But boy, it was like the cowboy scene in the saloon where you just go deadly quiet. And we just got to making a noise, and that was that. But I remember that really.
I remember, I've got a memory of it.
I actually talked to them about that because I knew who they were, you know.
Yeah, well, I'm not naming any names, but yeah, you actually talked to them about it. Come on, tell us.
They knew that I knew you,
Right.
you know, and you know they were saying, "Is this right?" Whatever, blah 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 blah, and of course, I think no disrespect, I think you might be getting it slightly wrong. How dare I say
That's
this?
my memory.
I thought it was a boiled egg. I remember it was a boiled egg with Papa written on.
Oh, there was all sorts of different tickets.
Yeah. Not a bit of paper with Papa. It was a boiled egg with Papa written on.
Slice of bread or something.
It tickled my fancy.
But definitely somebody gave me sausages.
Well, I don't doubt it.
No, seriously, they give us chopped up sausage because I put them in my pocket with the lathe part.
Put it in the pocket with his lathe.
I'm sure somebody gave me.
I give you my recollection.
Yeah, I just remember sausages being given to me, and I accepted it as legal tender.
Yeah.
I don't know whether I should have let them in or not, but
It
you know,
had to be a white slice of bread, and someone tried to get him with a brown one or something. Yeah, something like that.
it could have been. I mean, the door policy was a bit indistinct at the time. I wasn't sure what the admission fees were.
I don't think I was either.
No, I think it was just made up on the spur of the moment.
What I recall was that we got there, a lot of the gear turned up, courtesy of hats, Dad bringing it in a van, so it looked like the band was turning up in a van. The band wasn't on the van, the gear was. We walked in, and I had to go back home because we realised we were an extension cable.
Bingo talk, don't worry, he'll come back.
So I exited home because I just lived along the road.
That was probably a really important memory. And we never heard a single
And
thing.
was in Pico
we
talk.
seen since school, and I stopped and I had 2 minutes to talk to him. He said, he says, I'll be back then in a minute. You're there. But he took the wallet out. He opened the wallet. I've got a picture. Shit.
It'll be back. Prior to all this, you know, to the Borestiffers, we did what started it all off. Sweeney, who's Vern the hairdresser.
Ah, yeah, I know.
I give him the name Sweeney. It was nothing to do with Sweeney Todd, right? It was Rod Stewart's hairdresser. Was the shop in London was called Sweeney's, and I just Rod Stewart at the time. So I called him Sweeney. And I went to Sweeney's one day. He used to cut my hair for now, you know, because celebrity one. And I went in one day and he said, have a Rolo. He says, I've just nicked them from Woolworth. Right. And I was outraged. I thought he's an upstanding member of society. Sweeney, and he nicks Rolos from Woolworth. I spoke to him about this yesterday down the phone and he can't remember it. Now he either made it up that he nicked it or he did, but either way, you know, he couldn't remember. So I thought, but yeah, Nick Rolos, do you have to do that? So I went home and I wrote a song based on the event. It was called Put Those Rolos Down, Sweeney, right?
I remember it.
Then I went back to the shop the next day. I said, any chance, I've got this song now, any chance we could record it in your shop? He says, what do you mean? I said, well, using hairdryer, scissors, everything you've got, all your tools, everything, can we just switch them all on and do the song? And we did, and we recorded it. It was cassettes in those days, wasn't it? And that was the very first Borestiffers song. So indirectly, Sweeney's responsible for the Borestiffers, you know. And then we did some more stuff, and we did like an album, and I think it was called Black Shoes and Mongooses. Yeah. And we handed them out to people that wanted to listen to them on like White Lee's estate and stuff like that. And that's how it all started. It got a little bit of a following. And that's why we went on to do the show. And I remember on the night, there was a lot of kind of electricity in the air because it looked like there was representatives from different areas of the town, possibly gangs that, you know, weren't on the bestest of terms with each other.
That's right.
And they were all segregated, weren't they?
Right.
And we were thinking, geez, there could be a riot here. The caretaker was getting a bit worried. He was a fella called Angus, and he had no idea what was about to follow. I remember when we went back the next time, I sneaked a photograph of him, and I had all these Angus, the caretaker badges, and like when I was talking to him, he's looking at me. He's looking at a bloody badge of himself in the days where you didn't have badges of individual badges, did you? I mean, he just thought, no, can't be me. And we thought, well, there could be a riot here. So I was talking to Tinwhistle not so long ago about the songs that we did, what collectively we could remember, so you can chuck in anything you remember. I said to Tinwhistle, I'm sure we had a fanfare, probably 2001. You know, the Zach Spraggs, I can't say it, that one from 2001. And Tinwhistle said, oh, there was a one, what did you say, Paul? Hats toilet flushing.
Yeah, we recorded Hats Out toilet in the yard, and we had the proper traditional pull thing. We recorded that, so it was like thus spray Tharathustra, then it was the toilet flushing, and then it was the can intro that the faces used to use.
I can't remember that. Can you remember anything, Mr. Philip Whale? Because I always considered on the night you were the leader of the White Lee's Massive, and you were to keep you all up under control. What do you remember?
Well, to be honest with you, I can't remember the actual. Well, obviously, I can remember the songs that you did, but on that night, you probably did most of them. I can't remember, you know, the order or anything.
The album.
Yeah, but what I do remember, which I need to confirm this with you, did you actually use magnesium flares that night?
Yes, we did. With the went off. We shouldn't have, because health and safety, we didn't let on about that, and they worked really well. They probably went off at a strategic point. That was left to Hat to do that. He was the engineer. We did use fair.
But as I'd stated earlier on, when we had that little bit, discourse through messaging, for me, it was, I'll never forget that night as long as I live. Honestly,
love it.
It had a profound effect on me. It was the gear. It wasn't just the gear, but the gear that you were wearing was just.
Tell me, I can't remember.
Well,
buddy, what did we wear?
Well, it was for me with you. It was the fucking Subbuteo floodlight lit up on your head. Oh, it killed me. It killed me. Oh, I tell you, it killed me. Maybe I might have added the bit about them being lit up, but in my mind, that's what I saw. But you definitely had a Subbuteo floodlight strapped to your head.
Yeah, I do remember that.
And all of that
glue pots, but Subbuteo.
Yeah.
But I'm still in, believe it or not, I'm still in touch with like the White Lees lot. We're all pretty close still. We're all in my 60s and we're all keep in touch and we'll have reunion nights out, and it often crops up as a top of a conversation, that night.
That night in February.
Sorry?
In February 1976. My God, that's a long time ago, isn't that?
Marvellous. Absolutely marvellous.
And we're still here to talk about it. What do you remember, Paul, what we wore? And then Murray?
What I remember was your sooty guitar that Joe Pat took up to a music shop to get new strings on, because the plastic ones, and he actually faced a professional music salesman, and he presented this sooty guitar to get the proper strings on, and then brought it back. I remember masses and masses of cardboard boxes where you'd painted them black so they looked like amps and speakers, and then you daubed marital on instead of Marshall, or Marshall spelt as in court martial, and then you had the guitar with a length of string, so you went into kind of like a Brian May guitar solo.
You reminded me of that. Right, remember that from yeah.
Paul and Malcolm, can I just interject here? With the cardboard box amps as well, there was signs saying suspicious looking amps.
Yes.
Oh, what a memory! Brilliant.
Yeah.
Where's your guitar? I think I left it at Bolingbroke, actually.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. Oh, that's a brilliant memory, that one. A little snippet. I like that. Suspicious looking amps.
The songs, there was that song you did called The Seven Puppets of Corbett. It was kind of like based on the 7 Seas of Rye.
7 Puppets of Corbett.
There was 7, and I cannot remember all of them, but I remember right at the end, you ran through all of Harry Corbett's puppets, Sooty Sweep, Butch, Tigger, Sue, Ramsbottom, and whatever else there was. And I just remember one of the lines. It was taken from a Queen song, was it? Off the Queen 2 album. It was take this custard pie I give you, take it sooty, hold it high. You won't understand what's going to happen, but it's going right into Mr. Corbett's eye.
Wow!
It's from Father to Son, Queen 2.
Yeah.
First track.
I was heavily inspired by Sooty and Sweet, because I thought Harry Corbett's patience and endurance was something to be admired, and Sweet was the ultimate anti-hero, really. So I was heavily inspired by Sooty and Sweet. I enjoy working with them as well, by the way. I remember a lot of songs probably on the night were about shoes or something like that. I had about 5 or 6 different songs to do with shoes. Don't ask me why. I have no idea. So, what do you remember, Murray? Was you in?
I don't remember very much, actually. It's all a blur. But I do remember this one incident, and I'm not sure what it was. It was a small object, probably a ping pong ball. I don't know, or rolled a bit of paper. But maybe it was being kicked about or something. I don't know. And I think you might have had something on your head to catch it in.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and you just got it right in. You threw it at the audience. I don't know, something happened and it went in. It was pretty impressive, actually.
And Tinwhistle said at the end, we threw plastic roses out at people, but we had them on strings, so we threw them out and pulled them back in.
God, yeah.
And Teddy Anteater, carry on, Paul.
Was that when all the chairs were getting thrown about at the end?
Got a little bit hairy near the end.
Oh God, I did it.
Yeah, I think the second one I think it was the second gig we did where the flowers went out on the strings.
Oh,
and
it must have been.
That you did. It was called the Pong Song, and it won't take long. And right at the end, it set off the bad eggs, but the stink bombs.
Did we?
And that was also a way of clearing the thing, because Angus was there giving it this with it once, gone time. And,
you tell this lot when we got to stop.
So I remember that.
No photographs, no bloody photographs,
No.
Teddy Anteater, we gave him a game. We had Teddy sitting on stage playing a game called Flying Hats. That was his contribution, to sit there and play this game with himself. That was his task.
Yeah. Well, Tube was working a bullworker. He was standing with a bullworker and twanging a bullworker. Right. And then he was doing that, and then he had to get down and play Mad Hats or whatever with Teddy.
Flying Hats, it was called.
And then Teddy decided he wanted to give it a go singing. And I think that's where he found his alternative career.
Wow. Oh, blimey.
But we go off at a tangent there. No, I remember that. I remember the slices of bread and how you collected them all up and took them down, because it was a charity show for the ducks.
Marine Pond, yeah. The ducks at the Marine Pond. It was a charity gig. I fed them.
We always felt that they might not like brown bread, so it had to be white. And it went down there. And I remember the third gig at the People's Place, where John Routledge and Stevie Alderson was wearing sooty puppets and testing the eggs to make sure they were hard boiled, and they had to have Papa written on it.
Oh my
goodness. Thank you.
Fatty Round was meant to be here. I don't know where he's gone. Oh naughty. And he won. There was a competition, and you check your tickets or something, and if you had a certain word on your ticket, was it sausages? It might have been sausages. It might have been Papa. I don't know, but we announced what it was. It went, check the tickets.
Every soccer star that you pulled out of your album, and you wrote Pumper on it. Like pictures of old 60s footballers like Wyn Davies, or people that played for Stoke City, like with weird names like Bluer and Evans and things like that. And they all had Pumper on.
Pumper,
there was one ticket that had Loud Pumper.
Loud Pumper on it.
Will you come out if you've got the winning ticket? It's just Loud Pumper.
Anybody got loud? The winning ticket, as will have be inscribed, Loud Pumper. Anybody?
Yeah.
It was Fatty Round, and I don't know if you might remember this, but he came up and everybody was applauding, and
aye.
Tell him what happened, Paul, if they don't remember.
Well, I think Bob said, "Right, coming in, get your prize." And when he went round, Bob and a few of his biker mates got him on the ground and gave him a kick.
That's what happened. Fatty Round remembers. That was his prize, a punch on the chin or something.
That's weird, though, because
you got slapped around for a bit. And
was because I thought that was
Bloody Hell's Angels.
I thought that was a fake memory, but it was real, wasn't it? Yeah,
it was real.
Yeah, because me biker mates.
That'll teach him to win.
That'll
teach him. All right, how dare he?
God. Yeah, we'll beat him up.
He had some great memories, Fatty. It's a shame he's not here, because I was going to cheat a little bit and talk about when we went to Lincoln to record what became Wavis's 4-track EP. And I can't even remember who went. It was Kieth went, and Fatty Brown went, and Gary Craig went, and I went, and Hat went, and I think everybody stayed for about 3 or 4 days, and then just left me and Kieth behind. We stayed for a while, but we were staying in a property with some students, you know. Well, we give them hell, honestly, at night time, absolutely night time. We was just doing the sort of things we did, and they weren't used to these Geordie maniacs coming down the road. They were really quite frightening. I remember they'd put the lights out, you know, when it was bedtime, and I would creep in and I'll just pop my little hand through the door in the darkness to click the light, and I'll go diddly, switch it on, and go diddly, and switch it off, and off I'd go. And I'd come back, and honestly, I'd do this about half an hour, diddly, diddly, and again, I'd say anything. They were petrified. They weren't happy with the guy that was accommodating us because they were really frightened, you know. And his girlfriend, she didn't like this at all. When everybody finally went because we were causing havoc, me and Kieth stayed behind, and we stayed there for a while. And this night, this fella, my manager, how many managers have I had? People calling themselves my manager. Him and his girlfriend were having sex upstairs in the bedroom. You know, it was dark and early hours. Fair enough. Well, it made a bit of noise. So I went and got the Wavis track, "Oh Peter, oh Stephen," where it's like, "Oh Peter, oh Stephen," and I hooked it up to the speakers and put it at the bottom of the stairs and played it full volume, you know. So they're getting this upstairs in their room, and she weren't impressed, you know. I had to leave pretty soon afterwards. But yeah, great stuff when we went down there. And of course, it just spiraled and got out of hand, you know. And I ended up on the telly doing some of this stuff. But without everybody's input, it would never have happened. You know, the Borestiffers kick-started a lot of things which may not have happened otherwise. But yeah. But you know, I should have started this meeting by saying absent friends, because Hat's up in heaven, you know. He didn't make it. He left the stage some years back. So out of respect to Hat, let's have 10 seconds silence, okay? 10 seconds silence in respect for Hat. Hat, 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 Hat. Sorry, couldn't help it. Sorry. It's a thing we had. I used to go Hat and he used to go Neb. We'd go places and we'd be talking perfectly seriously and nothing untoward. And it'd be silent, and all of a sudden I would just go, Hat. And then 5 seconds later, he would just look at me and go, Neb. And then I would go, and he would go, Neb. And we'd be out in the public doing this, and it got more and more exaggerated. And after about 5 minutes, you know, I'd go, we're just walking around like that. They must have thought we were spaced out on drugs, quite honestly. I know a couple of times, you know, for me, police cars would pull up and I'd be frisked. They'd say, you know, what you're on, what you do, don't do anything. What would you do?
That happened in a Borestiffers type scenario where Fig went into Maynard's.
Tell us.
With him, and Bob and you were outside, and when we came out, you give me the word that describes the state that I was in, paroxysm, where I just couldn't stop laughing.
Yeah, paroxysm, uncontrollable laughter. Yeah, it was laughter, uncontrollable.
It was because of you'd asked Fig to go in and ask about the novelty chocolate that was shaped in animals,
which was shaped like pigs,
elephants, and he asked for pig chocolate.
Yeah, pig chocolate.
And when we come out, and I was bent over laughing because he developed it into a long conversation with a woman. And it basically went like, he says, you know, the chocolate you've got on the window, you've got elephants in there, monkeys. And at that, you'd have thought he'd left it, but he said, well, came up just lunch and function ears off to make them look like pigs.
Yeah, snap the trunks off the elephant chocolate to make them look like pigs, yeah.
And then he followed later, and I was bent over and threw up against the walls and said, where'd you get your drugs from?
Yeah.
We came out and we were absolutely just falling over laughing. And the police car just pulled up, you know, right out the Swede, straight out there. And they really thought we were just spaced out. But it was all because Figure said, can you not snap the chunks off the elephant chocolate and make them look like pigs?
Pigs.
Yeah.
God.
I got a lot of stuff from Figure, a lot of inspiration, because I was saying to Paul recently, I don't think he was a major wit or comedian. He just said things how he saw them, and they were delightful. You know, he was arguing with somebody on next door to Paul's front door. He was arguing with this old bloke, and the argument was pretty straightforward. And then Fig says, well, you shouldn't crush bees to death with the end of your walking stick, which he just made up. And I thought, oh, I'm having that. That's delightful, that. And of course, I got a song out of it.
Yeah.
And he was arguing with his girl this time, and it was a straightforward argument. He said this, she said that. And then all of a sudden he just said, no, you just think you're a woman because you didn't eat fish cakes. I thought, I'm having that. I'm not wasting that. That's
Genius.
You used to tell somebody to go and wash their laces in the height of an argument, or go and wash your laces. No, having that as well.
Got to ask you, Rod. I'm the second hardest at the fair.
Yeah.
Where did that come from?
Fat Rob Jerry.
You tell it then. You tell
Fat
it,
Rob.
A guy called Fat Rob, yeah?
Rob Jerry, he was the one that used to live in well, Murray probably know better than me. He lived that, but he had the highest pitched voice.
Okay.
He had the highest pitched voice, but he was always harder than this one, and he knew all these, and he could fill anybody in. And
there we are then.
And he had a job at the fair, and he said that he says, "Tell you what," he says, try and do the voice. Tell you now, me and my mate, us two were the second hardest at the fair. And just
there we are. See, I want to hear people say things, and I'm thinking, right, I'm having that then.
Is that the same Fat Rob, Murray, that we're talking about? Fat
It
Rob
is, I bet.
Pearson. I used to see him up with Keith.
I thought he said, yeah.
I used to always threaten to kick him in the head.
Yeah, I thought it was Rob Pearson, wasn't it?
Rob Pearson, Fatty Rob. Because he was like, I used to just laugh at him.
Yeah.
He didn't know. And I used to feel really bad because I thought I was bullying him, but I think he was trying to bully me.
Yeah.
He was funny. And he used to hang around with another kid as well.
He had a brother.
Marshall.
His brother.
He had his brother, and then there's Marshall lived next door to them.
Because Keith used to laugh because Fatty Rob would say something to me, and then I'd tell him I'm going to knock him out or something like that, and he would like move away. I don't know. And the thing about the pigs as well, I'd forgotten that memory with the chocolate pigs, like, because I remember the police pulling us, and I'm sure. Now, I don't know whether this is a created memory, like you say, you can't remember these things accurately. So it could have been an apocryphal story. But I remember the copper saying, and I'm sure this is true, said, we're the drug squad, and you said, I don't need any. That was real. And I was laughing my head off. And the copper was saying, stop laughing, it's not funny. And I was like going like this. Because I had a beard, I think, at the time as well, and I would have had a bike jacket on probably.
Yeah, you're probably right. That's just
I don't know, but I hope it was true because I remember it clearly now. You saying I don't need any, and they were going mad like.
He also asked us why we were out on the streets, and I think Rod had said, well, he wasn't working. And you were meant to be at work because you were meant to be in the yards, but you took a day off on the sick and you did a fake kind of cough. Yeah. And then he said to me, and why are you not at work? I says, because it's me day off. He says, where do you work? And he says, well, my father's shop was right across the road. And I just pointed at the shutters. I says, there. You know? And he says, right, okay, so where do you get your drugs from? Where do you drink? I says, well, I'm not 18. I don't drink. He says, come on, what pub do you go in? I said, well, I'm not digging the hole for myself here. Like,
I've only took cod liver oil ever, honestly. Right?
Where do you get your drugs from?
Must be
Oh,
bloody
man.
good ones.
So that was real? That whole thing was real?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
Oh, God.
Oh, that's funny, that is.
I've got another question as well. You know the song "Both Shoes Are Awful"?
Yeah.
Was that in relation to the shoes? Can you remember Joanna Brown? Phil Brown.
Right, she was White Lee's girl, wasn't she? Yeah.
Phil, you know Phil, became the
yes.
manager of Hull and whatever.
Yeah.
Well, so yeah, was it to do with it, the shoes she was wearing? Because you did at one time tell her that her shoes were awful.
Oh, that's
So
it.
we wondered, because I'm still in touch with Joanna. I mean, I still see Bruni as well, you know, but there's that little thing about that. We wondered whether that was related to the shoes she was wearing, or is that just...
I should imagine, like I've said before, when Fig used to say something, I thought, oh, I like that, and go in and write a song. I probably did the same thing there and picked on the poor girl and said, oh, yeah, you know, it's a bit funny, that's why, and wrote it. Yeah, possibly that's where it come from. I don't remember where I got most of the stuff that I wrote.
Did Fig have a job as a postman and hide all of the post under the bed or something? His mother found it.
Paul, you're going to tell them, the Fig postman story, yeah?
So is that right? Yeah, because again, I got it second hand, but because I'd said, "What's Fig doing?" And they said, "Oh, he was working for the post service, like the postman. He was a postman." And I said, "All right," and I thought that was weird, like, but and he said, "Yeah, but he lost his job because he couldn't be asked to go out in the cold mornings." And he'd hidden a load of letters under the bed and his mum had found them. So she reported it. Is that right?
No, I don't think
possible. He used to wash dishes. He washed dishes at Butlins and he said, if they had custard on them, I used to bush them. Yeah?
So the post office story is not real.
Well, he did work in the post office, and Paul, you can tell him the best thing we did in there, yes?
Go on.
You know,
the picture. Is that about the picture?
Yes, the picture.
Right. Well, I think there was a combined effort here to put together a picture of Fig, where it was his face on a naked man's torso, and in those days it was in the 70s. It's not like you could do it now and knock it up with a computer. What you had to do is you had to get a photograph of him somehow, and that was achieved in a photo booth. But then what we needed to do was get a picture of a naked man, and that job fell to me. So I
it was a magazine we had to
round to that Fat Rob's house because I had some magazines, and I was more pictures of blokes. And anyway, I said, I'll take that one. And I had the head, and I was measuring the head. Yeah, that one will do. That should fit there. So we got the picture between Rod and Gary Craig, the yard. Then it was given to one of your friends, John Routledge, who worked at a place where they had a photocopier, and under threat of sack or death or whatever, he had to sneak in and print off these pictures in a lunch break when nobody else might be in the office. So we got a limited supply of these pictures. And then because I'd started playing Sunday morning football for the post office and Fig didn't know, he thought he was fairly safe and secure, but I managed to get a couple of copies of this picture to the last office. Now, the civil servants, nobody gets into the sorting office without security passes. So this lad, Ian Potts, he just said on the Sunday morning before a game, he says, I've got the picture through. I said, right. And he says, and it was like one of them classic Laurel and Hardy double takes. He walked past him, man.
Can you imagine?
Down. And then he walked away, but Potsy was hanging around and he had the other one, so he put the other one up. So the other one was next to all the messages about the union and the rotors and God knows what, you know.
Can you imagine? You're at work
It was after that, I think, that he shaved the tash. Yeah, you
Shaved the tash off so it didn't look like the poster, yeah.
I didn't look at the poster. I think that's what happened.
That can you imagine you go to work and there's a picture on your notice board and there you are, you know, kind of absolutely nude in a male thing, and wow, yeah. Well, why you got the name, I think you all know this, that why I allocated the name Fig Roll to him was that the way that he spoke, I just thought, well, if Fig Rolls could speak, that's how they would sound. So that was it. He was Fig Roll. And he
I always thought he looked like a fig roll.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah,
He
did.
had a look
Like
like
Does his hair look like the inside?
Yeah, you know, the ridges. I don't know. Maybe, you know.
The olive skin,
did.
the olive skin, the dark wavy hair. It looked like what put together. It looked like a fig roll.
You look like a fig roll.
Yeah. But yes.
Because I've got a black and white picture. I think Malcolm, you know the black and white picture we've got of the group shot at school.
Yes.
And Fig's on that. I'm sure he was in the
class. Oh, he is, yeah.
And he does. Yeah. He's got a square head, like a fig roll.
Fig roll.
No, it is. It's square. His head's like square with like black bit there.
I've tuned
like the fig roll.
Business.
I'll have to try. I haven't got my hands on it. I'll try and dig it out now. I'll see if I can put it on the screen. And that's like when we were about 10 years old, 11 years old. Because Hat's in the picture as well.
There is a picture of from Mulberry Road.
Mulberry Road School when me and Rod were in school together.
That's right. Yeah. Have you seen that? Have you seen that?
I'm going to find it now. I'm going to find it. I've got it somewhere.
We had amazing adventures with Fig, but it was normally to his detriment, you know. You know, I assembled about Clockwork Westo, you know. I was never a part of that little bunch of personalities. But we took a walk around to Fig's house, and we were all armed with about 6 packets of fig rolls each, and we rang on his doorbell, and his mum answered it, and we just pelted 6, you know, we all had 6 each, and it was just a shower of fig rolls hitting the entire house. And his mother had no idea about this fig roll thing, so it must have been very surreal for her to have to go back in, watch your matter. So we're getting pelted by like fig rolls. We gave him a lot of stick, really. I've got a lot of fig roll karma to work off, probably there. It was the same with Dennis, who smoked tabs, you know. Dennis was an actual character.
Yeah.
And he used to smoke and not tell his parents. And when he went in his house, he used to pull a brick out and hide his fags in it, you know, before he went in the house. And I thought, well, one day I rang up and I just said, "Yo, Dennis smokes tabs." You know, kind of blew the whistle on him, a whistleblower, and that became a track on the EP. But I remember we got again, we gave him a lot of reminders of his misdemeanor. But my favorite was we got a drain pipe, a plastic drain pipe. It was about 8 foot tall plastic drain pipe, and we painted it white and painted the cork tip end, and we put it on his front door, rang the bell and ran off. So when they opened the door, this 8 foot fag fell in the passageway.
Do you know what it is?
It was 2. There was 2. There was a cigarette and then there was a match, because there was one that had the red or blue
match.
Because it was my brother, who had only been 14 or something then, and his mate Mark Harvey. They were bribed to take them up, knock on the door. And when Dennis came to the door with his mother said, "This is not the door that like smoke and carry on, is it?" And he went, and everybody seemed to scatter, and these 2 were left lying. He says, "Dennis, do you know them?" He went, "And I him," and he pointed at our kid, and he said, "And I his brother." You know, so yeah, he says, "I know them all. But he did laugh. He thought it was funny, you know. He said the giant tab and the giant match, you know.
Dennis became a friend of mine. We played for the same football team. We were both strike partners together. He was a good I mean, I was rubbish, but he was pretty good actually.
Yeah.
And we talked about that to him, and I remember him saying, "Oh, fucking great bunch of lads, but they're fucking idiots. The fucking lot of the cunts." You know?
Well, actually, his mother had it in for me after that, you know, and if ever we went nearby and she caught wind of us outside, she, again, like Rob and his lathe part, she put all sorts of heavy objects in a bin bag and come after me, swinging it at me, you know. So both of them ended up on vinyl. Dennis who smokes tap, Dennis and Fig Roll. See what I mean by being inspired by these people? I just had to sit back and just say, oh, I'll have that, and write the songs. Yeah.
Absolutely marvelous.
They're always on eBay. You'll go on eBay, you'll always see them all on there. Honestly, don't pay more than £5 for any of them. It's ridiculous the prices they can ask. Even tie your laces type. Foffo Spearjig's always on eBay.
Well, the albums and that.
No,
and the EPs.
Yeah, you've got Dennis Smokes Tabs turns up, Anna Ford's Bum's always there. And Tie Your Laces Tight with the 503 bus song on the B-side. That's often on eBay as well. Yeah.
Right. There you go.
I don't have any. I don't keep any of my own stuff. Nothing, not a thing at all. Like it never happened. It's really to go on eBay and see your past history up there. And you know, I've always said this. It's for me, a fan is something that keeps you warm on a cold day, on a hot day. Rather, a fan keeps you cool. I've got fans, you know, even today. It's crazy. People. I have a Twitter account. Well, to be a celebrity on Twitter, you've got to have 30,000 followers. So, you know, I tend to poke fun at most things I do. So I've restricted it to like 250 followers. And I get all these direct messages and like, I'll reply to them because I can manage 250 a little bit. And it's such a big deal to them to get a reply from Wavis O'Shave or Foffo Spearjig. It's a real big deal. I've met my #1 fan 3 times, and it's 3 different people. You know, I was set up by some people in Sheffield that really set me up to be there when allegedly my biggest fan turned up. It's crazy that in 2022, the threshold that we're at now, it's like playing to a second generation. It's like Phil's boy Nat, is it? Yeah, he's a Wavis fan, and this is second generation Wavis fans. And I can't believe that something I started via the Borestiffers in 1976 is still alive and well in 2022. Never saw that.
Do you know my first recollection of you is very first? I just wonder whether you remember this.
Go on,
obviously, I heard about you through Paul.
Yeah.
Paul bringing the Insane magazine weekly to the grammar school, to the school, and we used to sit waiting for it coming, and you know, marvelous. And I used to say to Paul, "Oh, I'd love to meet him. I'd love to meet him," and he actually set the meeting up to meet you. And meeting. I'm sure Paul will remember Bob Codlin, and we came to your sitting room. And can you remember the couch blag or not?
Oh yeah, I can. Were you there? Yeah, I did that a few times.
That was me and Cod when you had a talking couch.
It was a sofa or a couch, and you would never know. Paul remembers this. You would never know. You could open it up like a bed, get in there and close it, and it would just look like a sofa, right?
Aye.
So I had people come in. I said, "Oh, it's a bit spooky, honestly. You know, the sofa sometimes talks. You know, like people would take no notice. Then all of a sudden, I'd have a little titchy fella. It might have been Tube. It might have been the guy Tube in there, or something like that. Then he would start saying stuff when people sat on it. Well, you know, yeah.
I still remember that in my mind anyway, as you know, as if it was yesterday.
I think we stuck a pin in it and it went, ouch, yeah?
But Cod sat on it first and says, "Get off us, you bastard." You know, get off us, you bastard. And Cod jumped up, nearly shit himself, nearly shit his pants.
Do you remember when we had a little table? It was at Salisbury Street and Dave Farm came around, I think possibly with you, and me and Avro took the glass out of this little glass table, but you wouldn't know. It just looked like it was really polished. And Dave put his coffee down on what he thought was the glass on the table and it went straight through. Oh, naughty. I don't do things like this now.
The couch. It was Phil came round. It was Cod and Ian Marshall, and within the couch it was that lad Brian Nichols. Tube was too big, he couldn't fit. He tried, but Brian must have been in for about an hour waiting. He must have been in. You must have got him installed and then
out of there.
You know. So he waited and waited, and you know, I don't know what kind of script you might have given him, but he couldn't have read it. And
So he did it with a torch.
His ad-libbing was perfect, you know. His ad-libbing was perfect in knowing when somebody sat, you know. Oh, get off, you know.
I had people run out the room, you know. Some people ran out the room. Some people ran out the room. I've got a haunted sofa.
Yeah.
Oh, great. Absolutely.
I've actually found that picture, and he does look like a fig roll.
He does look like a fig roll, yeah.
He does. I'm going to show you. Hang on, I'll share it. I'll show you. It's remarkable. Hang on. Let's see if I can find it. Oh, I don't know. Doesn't seem to be working. Like.
Never mind. We take your word.
No, he does. He definitely looks like it anyway. But no, I can't find the. Nah, it's not working.
Never mind. It's a
Never mind. Nah, he definitely looks like one. Like, but,
I just remember back at the Borestiffers gig, and am I right in thinking this? You know the old cliche where people say everything but the kitchen sink. I think we had a kitchen sink on stage, you know. I think yeah, we did have a kitchen
probably
sink.
Did.
Yeah.
Empty suitcases for drums, biscuit tins.
That's right. That's right.
It was half me mother's kitchen. Wooden spoons, pots and pans, tin tables, a couple of suitcases.
Well, I never copy anybody, right? You know, I as far as I'm aware, everything I do is original. I don't really copy anybody. You know, when you get in the media, they'll say, oh, you know, Monty Python, Spike Milligan, all this sort of stuff. I never copy people. And when I did the Borestiffers, I got the notion for let's do a band that's anything but music. Let's play anything but musical. I wasn't aware, it's only in recent years, I've caught up and realised that back in the 50s, there was such a thing as skiffle music, you know, Lonnie Donegan, and they played music without musical instrument. So I think we should have been the Boy Skifflers, really, rather than the Borestiffers. The Borestiffers might have been more, yeah. But I was shocked when I found out, but never mind, you know, I think we did a good job of it, if we were, you know, skiffling or not. Yeah. Who would have realised where it all led?
But we must have started something, because when you talked about the troop of lads that came, the big tough lads that came out of the gym when they listened to our noise, and we were in rehearsal. I remember one of the eldest, the biggest, he'd said, are you the lot that charged bloody whatever it was, a food stuff? It wasn't a slice of bread, but it was something like, maybe a sausage or maybe something. To get in was said, yeah, that's us, you know. And all right, and then they sat and listened for 5 minutes to when we went through some repertoire.
Yeah, I don't know.
And then they went, all right, yes, thanks very much. And it was only about a year later that we found out that they knew the upstart.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
We inspired the upstarts to rent Bolingbroke. Yeah. We inspired the
and they found out that it was ball, and they were so. And it's a shame because Menzies just died last week, didn't
he? Yeah.
Well, as you know, Menzies a mate of mine, you know, and on a number of occasions we did get to speak about you on a few times. Yeah, and yeah, he used to shoot straight from the hip, Tommy, you know, and you say, you know, he says, I know, you know. Look, I know he's like all the way there. He's like, you know, I like him and all that. He says, that's fine. He says, you know what it is? He says, I didn't know a lad. He says, but, you know, I've heard he's this and that. And you're like, but I just didn't get it. I just didn't get it. I just didn't get it.
You know, I when I was about 18 and, you know, I'd be amongst the lads and I try, you know, I used to read books on physics and all sorts like that. And I try and tell them, you know, like the chair that they were sitting on didn't really exist, you know, and like you soon get a reputation of being, you know, fucking nutter. They don't say, oh, he's a physicist or a surrealist. Oh, that physicist or surrealist is not. And I think I had you all puzzled really with my lifestyle, because I was just enacting the old Tibetan kind of crazy holy man that more or less lives as a bloody monk in a cave. You know, I did it for a long time. Yeah, that's as much as I'm going to say on that. But it was nice to express myself musically with the help of you all, and be like a champion by appearing on your televisions. Yeah, I mean, the deal was I could ring, like the Tube, for example, I could ring him up and say, I've done a sketch. Can I do it, you know? And they say, oh, yeah. And we'd go and film it. And that's the arrangement I had with them. But after so many sketches, they would never appear on the telly. And Philip, you might remember this. It was during the miners' strike, and I think you came with me to Tinwhistle, and we watched the editing of the non-swearies.
I was just going to say that, and this is not patronising you. I'll give, you know, obviously a lot of respect anyway, but I'll give respect for you for that, because during that time when we went up there and they were editing and they were trying to make decisions and they were, you know, putting them to you, and you were totally ignoring them and asking me, and you were asking me, no, what do you think? And you were asking me what I thought. And that was marvellous, you know, and I remember saying, no, that's got to stay in, that's funny, you know, and, you know, they were getting so frustrated, you could see, you know.
Well, I never used to. I was very difficult to negotiate. I always have been. This is why my so-called managers that I've had throughout my past have drifted away after so long. I had my own Malcolm McLaren off a two-stroke, my own Malcolm McLaren, but when they'd had enough, they thought, if we hang in enough, we'll make a fortune out of this guy. But I just wouldn't do what was asked of me at all, and they all drifted away. And that, you know, that non-swearish puppet show, we bleeped all the sweary words, which was every other word, but you could see what I was actually saying. So it's like
I was with you. I was with you in the park when you done it.
Really?
Yeah. When they came down, and you know, you the one where you did the bin, the talking bin.
Yeah, ordinary power.
Do you sell bread? Do you sell bread and all that? And I must admit, the only time in my life when I felt uncomfortable was when you were doing the non-sweary puppet show, because I loved it. But you could see that they didn't have a clue what the fuck was going on.
Well, by the time we got back, Philip, by the time we got back to Tinwhistle, I think there'd been 4 complaints to Channel 4. People in the park had rang Tinwhistle or Channel 4. But, you know, why would you film that? Why would you then go to the studio and edit it and then say, oh, but we can't put this out? Why would you do that?
Well, yeah.
And I did quite a lot of stuff. And the same thing happened. We'd go and film it. And they would say, oh, we can't put this on the telly 5:15 on a Friday. So, yeah.
Well,
there we have it.
Yeah.
Well, it's getting a little late now because I'm old and I go to bed a bit early. Not this early. I think we might knock this on the head actually, because that's like a good sportsman quit when we're winning. It's nice that we've all had different memories and we've contradicted each other or bailed each other out. This is how the mind works. But you know, in 45 years, perception. It's amazing to remember anything.
Yeah. Everybody has different perceptions.
They do, of course. Yeah. So obviously, I think you're all great sports for coming this evening. It was just an idea to see what we could collectively remember, and you've certainly enlightened me with some one-liners.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
I just think the chemistry amongst the people involved was really quite spectacular, and you are always going to get some amazing comedy coming from it. I know that all lads and all gangs have got this sort of thing, but I think that at that period of time in the middle 70s in South Shields, there was something going on that you couldn't match anywhere else in the country. I think it was
the world.
Possibly so. So, you know, I came on tonight thinking, well, first of all, what should I be known by? And should I be deadly serious, or should I just give you a bit of wackiness just to remind you of the 70s? I've been fairly serious, but I'd like to end off tonight. So all of us, I had a song called Josephina Tercephinas. It was on Black Shoes and Mongooses. And there used to be a dance that went with that. And if I remember it, you had to like bend down,
pull your socks up, and at the same time you go, and also screaming more or less, jumping turfina, like a mad cocker in the farmyard. So I thought it'd be nice if we all ended off tonight doing the Josephina Tercephina. So get yourselves ready, because I want, you know, best you can, you reach down, keep pulling your socks up, all right? You're going, and you're also going, jumping, it's a 3 and 1. So let's do it for like 20 seconds when we're ready. You haven't got the pistol yet. And then, Rob, you can just press the button and we're going, okay? I can remember, I can just about remember the first verse. So I'll sing the first verse and then we'll embark on the dance so we'll all piss off. Right, so wait a minute. Something like this. I was born with a strawberry nose. I was born with a strawberry nose. Do the farmers know where I plant my seeds? Maybe it's in a field, or else it might be where I sneeze. I was born with a strawberry neb. A strawberry neb. Get ready.
Ready?
Perforated We're leaving. That was all right, man.
Nice one.
Nice one.
Good night, folks. Good night.
Bye.
Yeah,
Good night.
nice seeing everybody.
Aye.
Yeah, great.
Oh.
Leave the meeting.